it were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes, and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the long. Attention, business owners. This is Jason Evans. I spent the last 3.5 decades helping companies create serious business breakthroughs, and I want to help you like never before. I built a serious training program called 3 Ways to Double Sales in 12 Months. We're going to give this to any business owner that calls us at 800-500-8320. Just call with your email address, and we'll email you this phenomenal video training program at our expense, not yours. It's an incredible gift. See if you agree. 3 Ways to Double Sales in 12 months. Took Jason's training less than a year ago. This year alone, Jason has made my training explode as far as my sales growth by over 250%. I'm expecting on doing close to $6 million gross this year.
Yeah, a little bit.
Again,
I'm gonna grab a bite to eat first. It's still
dearly to receive. 800-500-8320.
little restaurant in Defiance, so it's out there by the job site.
8320. Memorial Day is more than
I'm doing good.
weekend.
Nice day, kind of vegged all morning.
For our freedom. Make sure we're doing our part to protect what they fought for. That's why My Patriot Supply, America's largest and most trusted preparedness company, is holding their Memorial Day sale. And it's a big one. Right now, you can save up to 60% on emergency food kits, water filtration, off-grid power, and more.
How much you getting for the
Products
house?
trusted by millions of families who refuse to be caught off guard. If you've been thinking about preparing or expanding your supplies, now is the time to do it. The sale won't last long. So shop Patriot Supply.
Thanks to you and Dirty. Dirty had 4 phones and 3 TVs watching my shit last night. And with you two and all the other people. I mean, I was up to 25 people for a while on my Rumble stream last night. I not only got with the 200, I went over 300. So I just wanted to go live with both just to let everybody know how grateful I am. Yeah, I was pretty tired. I stayed up late last night with it. I only need 2 hours a month of watch time, and that just last night I was at. Fucking crashed. Okay, we're back. Looks like the app crashed. Let me reconnect though. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, he's cutting the grass. What he's doing. Switch the camera back around.
Hanging out at the Four Seasons in El Salvador, you can't even make it out. It's terrible. You know, it's like when are you going to stand up for the American people? When are they ever going to pick up a phone and call the families of Lake and Riley? I've talked to the Lake and Riley's family. I never did an interview with me. I said, if you ever want to, you're welcome, but I'm never going to force you to do it. It's wrong. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I'm in the public eye. I don't know why it makes a difference if you're in the public eye and you make a phone call sometimes. It means something to people. And I learned that actually from Donald Trump.
You can be on whatever you want.
I got to know Jocelyn Nungary's mother.
I got my number, so.
I mean, understand this. When you lose a child, in most cases, you will never be the same again.
Maybe hop over there to give a thumbs up and say something in the chat.
I would tell you that I don't think I recover after what they've all been through. And the scar for the rest of your life is not a day that will go by that you don't think of that child in my view. And yet nobody in the Democratic Party ever picked up the phone. Joe Biden never apologized. Mayorkas never apologized. Kamala Harris never apologized. And Democrats, keep pushing for the same stupid policies. And the AOCs won't apologize. Anyway, I appreciate the call, my friend. You're dead on.
Windy out.
Texas. Texas. We have about a minute and a half. It's all yours, Susan. We can do as the public, as far as with all these judges, that are trying to shoot down everything President Trump tries to put in place. Who can we contact, call, write? Congress. And I have the answer. Congress can act and stop the Democrats' use of judicial activism. They can't go to they can't go judge shopping to these judicial activists, as Mark Levin would famously call them, men in black, and people that they know will rule in their favor to get done that which the American public would never vote for or never support legislatively. That is the answer. Congress can act, and I hope after they pass their one big beautiful bill, that these are things that they'll take under consideration immediately. Because all they're doing is slowing down the Trump agenda, which is their agenda. Anyway, I do appreciate your call. 800-941-SEAN if you want to be part of the program.
Yeah, good news. What's that?
Yes. Hello, my beautiful friends. What an amazing day it is, and welcome back. We are excited to have you here as the week comes to a close. Yesterday was Thursday, the day before that, Wednesday, but today it is a Friday. We made it through another very busy week, and it was a little bit of a precarious week, I'll say. That trade order came down. We're all going, uh-oh, what the heck's going on over here? And then, not much to worry about because it got reversed immediately, and we are dealing with the fallout of that today. We also have some very interesting court filings that came out. So today,
That was vape.
remember that TPS case that we were talking about? Joe Biden said that
Oh, nice.
250,000 people who come in with the stroke of a pen, they all got temporary protection.
Is it close to you?
If Joe Biden can just approve it, Trump can disapprove it. We'll go through that. And we actually had Judge Kagan right in pretty on that. It was a 7-2 decision, bipartisan. So we'll read through that. We also had Trump appeal to the Supreme Court on the DVD case, which is the Judge Brian Murphy case. Really wanted that one dude to come back. We're talking about. Well, we'll cover that later on the show as per usual. But today, my friends, we got some Trump post, Trump obliterating Federalist Society. I've got a criminal complaint against the spy who was arrested, which is actually pretty interesting. And Jake Tapper is struggling. His book sales
It's good.
and his viewership is down, which is actually a little bit surprising to me. I thought that his media entourage, the onslaught, has been everywhere. I thought that would sell a lot of books, but apparently not. So let's start with the presidential schedule. As per usual, they've been up and cooking over there. The president is coming to meet with Elon Musk in about 90 minutes from now or so. So we'll hand that off and see what that looks like. With Elon and Trump, Elon is leaving
Hey, Matt.
this time in the government, and those are all planned, right?
Hey, Bill. Welcome. I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it through.
Here he is departing. So that's happening.
Oh.
Then Trump looks
Yeah,
like
just let me
he's
pin.
going to
Let me open it up on my other phone.
Pennsylvania. Oh, and he's doing the Steel Corporation talk today. Oh, interesting. He arrives. U.S. Steel Corporation in Pennsylvania. He's going to be there all night. Doing a little speech there, delivers remarks on U.S. Steel. It's interesting. And then he's going to depart there, go back to the White House. And so it sounds like he may be at the White House this weekend. Sometimes goes down to Mar-a-Lago, although it's hot.
Okay, any bad.
And I think now he's spending time in New Jersey.
So, welcome, Bill.
Anyways, that's what the president is doing. So we'll have an Elon update. He's busy today. Elon update and a U.S. Steel update all coming out of the White House. Now, meanwhile, the former president, so-called invalid, they brought him out today to host a Memorial Day event in Delaware. And I sort of feel like everybody celebrated this like last weekend. Everybody was doing all this like a week ago. And then Joe Biden, they just finally got him up and going. And they're like, you should probably say something about Memorial Day.
He's not doing good. Why?
Last weekend. So, anyways, here's Joe. Here he is. Look right here. Really make him come back up here.
I think, Mark, what I said here. Nothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that.
No, I mod just about everybody who I know. That way, nobody can. I'm the only one that can affect your free speech.
Ronnie, there you go. All right, this is like time to introduce the 46th president of the United States, Delaware's Joe Biden. Let's hear it for on your feet. Let me hear it. All right. Woo!
Oh man, these guys have matching energy, don't they? This is hilarious. They're like Joe Biden said, like they're whispering in his ear. Amazing. Thank you for that highly energetic, extremely enthusiastic introduction. I don't know how to follow that.
chief of the United States. The fact is that
What?
Stake in Defiance.
I don't think if I had come from any other state that would have happened. But in Delaware, everybody knows everybody, and it's important.
Yeah, is that why you guys went and got David Weiss as the U.S. attorney to come and investigate you and your
Well, if you really want to do that, you can do it in Rumble. And
all right, so he went on. How long did he go on for? All right, so it's about 13 minutes. Wow, he went over 10 minutes. Whoa, Joe, almost 10 minutes.
Wow. We're certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of that. We made it. That's who we are. That's what makes America the most unique nation in the world. Literally, not figuratively. In fact, folks, you know, for generation after generation, the profound idea has been defended.
All right, you know, it's hard to make fun of him since he's got cancer in his bones that they never told us about. All right, so that's Joe. Golly, what an outstanding event that was yesterday. 11 minutes, probably half the crowd fell asleep, needed to get shocked back into coherence after that speech. But all right, so that's what the president is doing out there, amazing. Former president, rather. And what else? Oh, yeah, so the Elon press conference, we have this, right? Trump said this morning or yesterday. He said, I'm having a press conference today, 1:30. This will be his last day, but not really, because Elon, he will always be with us, helping us all the way. Elon is terrific. See you tomorrow at the White House. So a little bit of a contrast there between those two and Trump and Elon.
Hey, Jody.
Will be in the Oval Office in a few short hours. So, what was Joe Biden saying? Something. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Close enough. All right. So Trump posted that. It's going to be very interesting. And this is another wild post from the president. Trump obliterates the Federalist Society, who's given us some pretty good judges, but given us some pretty crap judges as well. And we have questions about them in the Trump era. Okay, they were very instrumental back during the Bush era, the old Republican Party. But have they been working with Trump and MAGA, or are they just the old guard Republican class? Now, Trump posted this going after this dude called Leonard Leo. Leonard Leo is this fellow over here who's done a bunch of work in the Republican Party, gotten us some people like John Roberts, Alito, Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. Right? Some of those are very happy with. You like
death wish there.
Alito, those were pretty solid. Clarence Thomas, pretty nice. Was he pushing these people forward, or was he assisting once they were put forward? Who knows? Others, Amy Coney Barrett and John Roberts, we've got some questions about because they kind of told us they believed in originalism and textualism and interpretation of the law. And then they came up here, and then Amy Coney Barrett all of a sudden is like, 14 hours. Why didn't you do this for these gangbangers? What the heck's going on? All right, so Trump posted this about this dude. He says, you know, the U.S. Court of International Trade incredibly ruled against the United States of America. We read through that yesterday. They got stayed, basically reversed for the time being, on desperately needed tariffs. But fortunately, the full 11-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit has just stayed the order by Manhattan Court of International Trade. Now, where did these initial 3 judges come from? We asked the same question on this because we went over Watcher Lodge down in our research section that we have over there. And we assembled this entire dossier.
Hey, Struck, good to see you.
The Court of International Trade. And in here, the court was doing some digging on these judges. And you see, these are the 3 judges who were behind this: Reif, Rastani, and Katzman. And so it gives a little bit of a background on this. And so Rastani is the most senior judge. She's the one in the middle there. And she is a Reagan appointee, right? So she was the chief judge for a while, was a Reagan appointee.
That sounds like YouTube. Tell him to come over to Rumble. He'll build an audience fast.
Guess who appointed him?
And they pay every month.
In 2019, went to NYU. There's our first mistake there.
Made more on Rumble than I've ever made on YouTube.
He worked in private business, was general counsel for the trade representative, and then lectured at Columbia, right? So all those schools were just crap schools. Now, Katzman, I mean, in terms of politics, right? So NYU, like NYU alum, like Columbia law, like Harvard law, right? They all think the same way. They think they're unique and law, they all sound basically act the same. So here, point is, red. We got 2 red judges on this. What the heck? And then we got Gary Katzman, who went to Yale, and he was appointed by Barack Obama. Right? They all come from the same place. It's either Yale or Harvard, Georgetown, or whatever. But they're there, and we ask ourselves, right? Why, oh why, did they give us such a terrible ruling? We read through the ruling. They didn't even analyze the 4 preliminary injunction factors in their entire claim. And it seems like they overlooked the entire operation of the law, whereby Congress, if they don't think that the president actually invoked the emergency validly, then Congress can just go ahead and reverse the emergency via a joint resolution. It doesn't even have to be 2/3.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Just file a resolution and just get it done. Just cancel the emergency. But the judge said, no, I'm going to cancel the emergency because I'm Congress and I'm the president of these 3 judges. So Trump was posting about this saying, what the heck? Who are these people? Where did they come from? Says, where did they come from? How is it possible for them to have potentially done such damage to the United States of America? Is it purely hatred of Trump? What other reason could it be? Since I was new to Washington, and it was suggested that
we've gotten some sprinkles.
As a recommending
nothing bad though.
So I did so openly and freely. But then
try and get up early enough tomorrow.
The thumb of a real sleazebag named
cut some more grass. I wasn't going to do it today, but
who in his own
I vegged out.
Hates America and obviously has his own separate ambitions. He openly brags how he controls.
You better merge, dude. I'm doing the speed limit.
I hope that is not so, and don't believe it is. In any event, Leo left the Federalist Society to do his own thing. And I am so disappointed in the Federalist Society because of the bad advice they gave me on numerous judicial nominations. This is something that cannot be forgotten. With all that being said, I'm very proud of many of our picks, but very disappointed in others. They must always do what's right for the country. In this case, it is only because of my successful use of tariffs that many trillions of dollars have already begun pouring into the USA from other countries, money that without these tariffs would not be able to get. It is the difference between having a rich, prosperous, and successful United States of America and quite the opposite. The ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade is so wrong and so political. Hopefully the Supreme Court will reverse this horrible, country-threatening decision quickly and decisively. Backroom hustlers must not be allowed to destroy our nation. The horrific decision stated that I would have to get approval of Congress for these tariffs. They already did. Congress can cancel the declaration of emergency by operation of law if they want to. So and now this judge can't just say, well, they gave you some permission, but not the other permission. When Trump's interpretation of the permission is perfect.
It's not working? I'll have to check it out. I haven't used it in a while.
Okay, but not these tariffs because they came from Trump. They say if allowed to stand, this would completely destroy the tariffs of our country. In other words, hundreds of politicians, if we had to go get approval from Congress, would sit around in D.C. for weeks and even months, trying to come to a conclusion as to what to charge other countries that are treating us unfairly. Which is why Congress delegated it in the first place. Right? We can't. We need to act quickly. The president that will send.
I don't use Nightbot.
Saying this decision is being hailed all over the world by.
I use Rumblebot and Rumble, but that's about it.
States of America. The world loves it because it hurts us.
Later, Ramon.
Radical left judges, together with some very bad people, are destroying America. Under this decision, trillions of dollars would be lost by our country, money that will make America great again. It would be the harshest financial ruling ever leveled against us as a sovereign nation by our own courts. The President of the United States must be allowed to protect America against those that are doing an economic and financial harm. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And the President is empowered, as we read in Trump's reply when he filed it to the Court of Appeals there in the Federal Circuit, and walked us through how the court didn't even do their analysis on an injunction, issued a global ban on Trump's tariffs, in spite of the fact that the law gave him the power clearly, explicitly, and also provided a mechanism by which Congress can cancel it if they want to, which they did. So Trump goes after Leonard Leo. Some background here. They say, here, Leo, in a brief response, did not criticize the president. He says, I'm very grateful for Trump transforming the federal courts. It was a privilege being involved. There's more work to be done for sure. The federal judiciary is better than it's ever been in modern history. Now it'll be President Trump's most important legacy. And, I think there is some truth to that. Like, things could be much worse.
Yeah, Rumblebot's pretty funny.
There's a slow motion judicial coup happening.
He answers with Trump's attitude.
Look, and don't say that's crazy, okay? Because they orchestrated it on January 6th using the FBI. They used the FBI to orchestrate Crossfire Hurricane. And they lied to all of us about Biden's mental acuity, lied to all of us about the border, what they could do, lied to all of us about COVID and the pandemic. So it's like all of that can touch other arenas, but the judiciary is immune from that same type of political garbage. Come on, wake up. It is happening right now, which is why we're so upset about it. Now, Leo, he does have a point that it could be much worse. Like, for example, what if we had Merrick Garland on the Supreme Court? Right, with a lot of criticisms about Mitch McConnell and him not really being a Republican, but we didn't get Merrick Garland. That was good, and we were able to get some other good judges on there since Trump won. We got Gorsuch on there, and Kavanaugh's pretty solid so far. So it's true that things could be much worse. Like, imagine if we didn't have Gorsuch, but we had another Tanya Chutkan on there. Oh, I'm going to have to take a minute to just think about that. Trump's relationship with the activist is known to have grown strained over the years because of some of these terrible judges. Despite the falling out between Trump and Leo, many conservatives say he's still going to be influential. And the guy does have a long history. I mean, he's done a lot of work in this space. And I think some of it is good, right? I mean, if he helped us get Gorsuch on there, I think that's pretty good. So we'll give him credit on that, no doubt about it. But the point is, Trump is getting shafted by the judges. I don't know that it's exactly Leo's fault on some of them, maybe on some of these trade judges, but I think there's probably just more pressure on these judges than you can account for. I put one of the most solid people in there.
That's true. That's true.
Let me just say.
I don't remember the quantum entanglement question, but I remember the snake question.
Other than the American people, who are mostly asleep at the wheel on most of these issues, right? The rest of the world's going, oh crap, tariff, that's not good. And the trade court doesn't really care about American interests. They'd rather satiate the world, which has been a pattern our entire lives. Now, it's not just stopping with the Federalist Society. Pam Bondi also taken out the ABA, which has been a Democrat, legal, liberal institution for decades. And this has been a monolith in the legal space. The lawyers are, by and large, liberal. The law schools are liberal, the law firms are liberal, the institutions are liberal, all of the different organizations like National Association of Lawyers, dedicated to whatever, all liberal, getting tons of money come in. And you see it, man, they weaponize the law. Over the last 4 years and beyond that, they try to weaponize the FBI.
Steak.
Elections, sue lawyers.
They got a nice cheap steak at this little family restaurant there in Defiance, downtown Defiance.
So, okay,
steak and fries.
You want to be a political organization, go do that. But you don't have a right to interface with it. Get out. Pam Bondi came out and dropped this. Said the American Bar Association has lost its way, and we do not believe it serves as a fair arbiter of judicial nominees. The Justice Department is no longer giving the ABA the access.
Ooh, that sounds good, pizza. Ooh, Bow's live.
They write, hey, ABA, dear President Bay, William. For several decades, says Pam, the American Bar Association has received special treatment and enjoyed special access to judicial nominees. In some administrations, the ABA received notice of nominees before a nomination was even announced to the public. Okay, so this little PAC organization would just veto people before they even made it to the public light. In some administrations, we did that. Now, some administrations would even decide whether to nominate an individual based on the ABA's ratings. The American Bar Association, just like the Center for Disease Control, they're just innocent institutions that are just doing their work to take care of you. Unfortunately, the ABA no longer functions as a fair arbiter of nominees' qualifications. And its ratings
I had pizza earlier this week.
Favor nominees put forth.
Had Chinese food this week.
The ABA's steadfast refusal to fix the bias in its ratings process, despite the criticisms from Congress, the administration, and the Academy, is disquieting. Yeah. And so, accordingly, Pam Bondi says, while the ABA is free to comment on judicial nominations along with other activist organizations,
tell him, Teresa,
there is no justification for treating the ABA differently from such other activist organizations, and the DOJ will not do so. Wow, they hate that word, activist. We're not activists. We're lawyers. Okay. Specifically, the Office of Legal Policy will no longer direct nominees to provide waivers.
Oh, looks like a piggy up ahead.
Access non-public information.
What side of the road is on?
Car records. Nominees will also, not respond to your questionnaires prepared by the ABA.
Yeah, right now he's just on YouTube. I mean, he used to be on Twitch as well, but he got banned for broadcast and on Kick. He was on Kick for a while too. He got banned for rebroadcasting the Masters golf tournament. That's how he got demonetized on his main channel too. Yeah, it's a cheap steak too, so that's good. Nice hunk of meat, a reasonable price.
DOJ, White House, they should all decouple all of these entities.
Sounds good. I got to clean out my garage before I can even start working with my grill again. My garage is so fucking cluttered. I almost need a dumpster box to be dropped off my house.
Here is.
See the cop. He must have moved.
An anti-Trump defense IT specialist arrested. This is a crazy story. We got the criminal complaint queued up here that walks us through exactly what Matthew T. Johnson investigated this case, and this person has now been charged with a crime called Nathan Villas Latch. And what happened was he had top secret security clearance and was writing down notes, shoving them in his socks, taking them out of the building, sending them to a friendly foreign country, don't know what country that is, and then asking them for citizenship and relocation, all because he's unhappy with what the Trump administration is doing. So here was the press release over on Thursday from the DOJ, and Kash Patel also shared this as well.
Fillets,
saying that an IT specialist.
I like fat. I like marbling. And fillets are flavorful but very lean. Good ribeye, or even a porterhouse, or Delmonico ribeye.
We're going to go through the court documents, but this guy's
even a strip steak, as long as it's got good marbling on it.
Virginia, going to make his initial appearance in court. Multiple communications with an FBI agent, and a criminal complaint has now been filed. You can see here is what the actual complaint has charged him with. It is one count, attempting to transmit national defense information to an officer or agent of a federal government. 18 U.S. Code 794, charged between March and May. Okay, so a bunch of repeat actions going on here, making up the crux of the case. All this got submitted, and here is what the affidavit says in support of those charges, writing the following. Here. All right, I'm Matthew Johnson. I'm an FBI agent sworn in now. Special agent with the FBI, got a bunch of training at Quantico and elsewhere, and I'm pretty good with computers. Now, this affidavit is in support of a criminal complaint and arrest warrant against Nathan Villas Latch. And we have, I think, a photograph of this fella here. This came over from John Basham. And you can see, they think they got that photo from his LinkedIn. And I think I also had a photo from...
The strips are good.
I don't have that one, but...
As long as they're done right.
We think that came from his LinkedIn. Okay, so we've got that. Now we know who we're talking about. Now, for attempting to transmit national defense information, the facts in this affidavit are based on my personal observations, my training and experience. It's just an affidavit, so it's just kind of rough. Now, Here's the charge. Whoever, with intent or reason to believe it's going to be used to injure the United States, transmits, communicates any document that is national defense information, shall be punished by death or by imprisonment for any term of years or for life is this charge, okay? Death penalty charge or life in prison charge. Guy's 28 years old, had a little TDS meltdown, or maybe he's a foreign spy, who really knows? But now, potentially, life in prison. Under Executive Order 13526, information is classified when it could result in damage to national security. And you're not allowed to disclose any confidential, secret, or top secret info. SCI means sensitive compartmented information, and to date, the FBI
eats tofu. Yuck.
A current employee of the Defense Intelligence Agency has passed and continues to attempt to pass classified information relating to national defense info of the United States to individuals that he believes are agents or officers of a foreign government, hereafter called Country 1. Here's what happened. In March 2025, the FBI commenced an operation after the FBI was provided with an email in which an individual, now known to be Latch, provided or offered to provide classified information to Country Number 1. That is
versus chili dog pizza.
Foreign government.
That's weird.
I've had which had the subject line
a Paco's pizza before.
USA Defense Intelligence Agency
Vito's around here does a Paco's pizza. It uses Hungarian sausages and mustard and stuff on it.
The sender wrote in the email. He said this: cold email to just some person, Foreign Government 1. Says, I am an officer of the Defense Intelligence Agency serving in a technical role in support of our internal officer of security. Wow.
Lucky Charms from buttholes. Nice.
Which is pretty insane because it's like your job is to make sure people like you don't exist. Okay. Officer of security inside. The recent actions of the current administration, Trump, he says in this email, are extremely disturbing to me, ... I do not agree or align with the values of this administration and intend to act to support the values that the United States at one time stood for. So who is he sending that to, right? Who are friendly governments that come to mind? Obviously Israel, obviously Ukraine. You might have some other foreign countries that are in close proximity to the Ukrainian conflict. Could it be?
It's actually one of my favorite pizzas from Vito's.
Germany, France,
it's about the only one I like actually from them.
Could it be?
They do have a macaroni and cheese pizza though. That's pretty good.
That Trump was
looks like no spots up there.
If Trump was friendly with the Middle Eastern,
we're just gonna park here.
With, Qatar and Saudis and everybody, like, is this guy gonna align with their values?
All right, guys.
What values is he aligning with? I don't know. Now, to this end, I'm willing to share classified information that I have access to.
All right, turn this around. Camera. All right, guys. Peace. I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. I may fire it back up on my way home when I'm done with the work here. So no poker tonight, probably, and no long stream because I'm just gonna stream on my way home. All right. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and thank you so much for getting me over the hump last night and this morning. If Dirty was in here, I'd be thanking him too. He had 7 devices watching me yesterday. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Peace. So let's end it.